I struggled in earnest to strike the right balance of, we were talking about this before, not just navel-gazing, not patting myself on the back, but telling my story to the extent that it was needed to illustrate these themes of the ways in which vast structures in our media and our politics conspire to oppose the truth. And a lot of journalist stories run through Catch and Kill, not just my own, and I hope it reads as a tribute to them. We need more good journalists banging their heads against the wall, doing the right thing, and that spirit is embedded in your own career. I mean, I'm struck by how many times, yes, you were a freelancer, but you were dealing with traditional media structures, and there again, you weren't afraid to piss people off. The story about you going undercover in the early 60s as a Playboy bunny is striking to me, right? Partly because I've done some reporting on Playboy and the culture around it, and did that story on Karen McDougal, the Playboy playmate who had a story about Trump, her story was then acquired by the National Enquirer. This is where the term catch and kill comes from. They bought it to bury it, not to publish it. And incidentally, in the course of that reporting, I ended up talking to a lot of Playboy centerfolds and bunnies and people around that system, and certainly in the modern era, we're overdue for more exposés of that type, but you, as with so many things in your career, you were early to that. Talk about doing that and the reaction to that, because you got blowback for it.
I got sued, actually. No,
well, and you said people were reluctant to take you seriously after that.
Yeah, no, that was a different kind of blowback, actually, but because that came later. But I was sitting in an editorial meeting at Show magazine. I don't know if anybody remembers this big, beautiful arts magazine. A whole tree sacrificed its life for every issue. And the Playboy Club was just opening. And I said, well, we should send Lillian Ross, great New Yorker writer, right, to be a bunny. I mean, obviously, that was completely impractical. And so suddenly the editors, who were all guys, of course, I was the only woman, looked at me and said, no, you do it. I said, no, are you kidding me? I mean, they're not going to hire me. I don't have ID. I'm too old. Actually, even then, I was too old to be a bunny. They said, no. So I needed to pay my rent. And so I went and discovered that they were desperate, big time desperate, for bunnies, because it is a lousy job. They were advertising that you would earn much more money than you actually earned. So I, to my amazement, passed right through all the tests and rehearsals and everything, and ended up in this costume that was so tight that a man would have a cleavage, and and being trained in the bunny dip and so on and so on.
What is the bunny dip?
The bunny dip is basically,
do I want to know?
is basically how to hold a tray and serve your customer without falling out of your costume. That's the bunny dip, and we had to practice it and so on. But I just want to say that another requirement was that you had to have an internal physical exam, which they told us was a requirement of the, food servers in New York State. Which, of course, was utter bullshit, and I knew it was utter bullshit, but I knew I also couldn't do the story, but anyway. But at least that and some of the other worst things were done away with because of the expose I did. Now, so I'm not sorry I did it, but it is true that as old as I am, and I am seriously old, when anybody wants to put me down, they say, well, she was once a bunny.
Still?
Right.
You still get that?
I
you
still
Gloria
get that.
Steinem? You get that?
Yes, I still get that, right.
Well, those people seem not worth any of our time.